A loving dog owner made one simple choice, and their best friend was gone within 48 hours. If you share your home with a dog, what I'm about to share isn't just advice, it is a lifeline. Right now, as you are watching this, you might be making innocent mistakes that veterinarians are desperately trying to warn us about. Habits that feel safe, even loving, but are silently putting your dog in the crosshairs. The worst part is that most devoted dog owners have absolutely no idea until the damage is already done. Stay with me, because by the time we finish, you will know exactly what to avoid to keep your best friend safe. And I promise you, at least one of these hazards is likely sitting in your living room right this very second. When you find out which one it is, you are going to want to fix it immediately. Let's start with a danger that looks harmless, but causes thousands of emergency surgeries every year. We need to talk about the soft toys and laundry that you leave lying around. Let me tell you about a golden retriever named Bailey. His owner thought it was funny when Bailey would steal socks or chew on that soft plush toy until the stuffing came out. Cute, right? Just a dog being a dog. But 24 hours after swallowing a simple gym sock, Bailey stopped eating. He started vomiting water. He was rushed to the emergency vet, where they discovered the fabric had bunched up in his intestines like an accordion. Here is what experts want you to know. Unlike what we assume, dogs don't always pass what they swallow. When a dog ingests fabric, whether it's a sock underwear or the casing of a stuffed animal, it creates a blockage. But it's not just a plug. As the intestines try to push the fabric through, the material gets caught and the intestine bunches up around it. This cuts off blood flow and can actually slice through the intestinal wall from the inside out. Veterinarians call this a linear foreign body, and it is catastrophic. It leads to sepsis and death if not operated on immediately. The surgery can cost upwards of $5,000, and the recovery is brutal. So please check your floors. Use a hamper with a locking lid. Throw away toys the second they start to rip. Don't let "he always passes it" be the reason you lose him. Now let's move to something that changes the very air in your home. Mistake number 2 is using essential oil diffusers and plug-ins. You love the smell of tea, tree peppermint, or cinnamon filling your home. It's relaxing for you. It masks the dog smell, and it feels natural. But here is the terrifying truth. Many essential oils are poison to dogs. While dogs are generally tougher than cats regarding some toxins, they still have sensitive livers and respiratory systems. When you run a diffuser, you are pumping microscopic droplets of highly concentrated oil into the air. Your dog, with a nose thousands of times more sensitive than yours, breathes this in. It lands on their fur. Then they lick their fur, ingesting the oil. Oils like tea tree, wintergreen pine, and peppermint can cause liver toxicity, seizures, and respiratory distress. Dr. Sarah Bennett, a veterinary toxicologist, warns that these symptoms often start slowly, a little drooling, a little wobbling when they walk, maybe some lethargy. You might think they are just tired, but their liver is struggling to process the toxin. If you have a diffuser running right now, or if you use those potent plug-in air fresheners at the level of your dog's nose, please reconsider. Switch to dog-safe options or simple ventilation. Your dog's health depends on the air they breathe. This leads us to the kitchen and mistake number 3, feeding them from your plate. I get it. I really do. Those big, soulful brown eyes, that gentle paw resting on your knee, the little whine. It feels almost impossible to resist giving them just a little bite. But sharing human food is a minefield. We all know about chocolate, but that's not the silent killer I'm worried about. I'm worried about the ingredients you don't see. Onions and garlic, for example. They are in almost everything we cook: sauces, seasonings, broths. These ingredients destroy a dog's red blood cells, causing hemolytic anemia. It can happen gradually over time or suddenly with a large dose. Then there are grapes and raisins, which can cause sudden kidney failure in some dogs with just a single fruit. But the sneakiest, most dangerous ingredient in your kitchen right now is xylitol, often listed as birch sugar. It is found in sugar-free gum candies and crucially many brands of peanut butter. If a dog eats a piece of gum or a spoon of xylitol-sweetened peanut butter, their blood sugar crashes within minutes. It causes seizures and liver failure so fast that you might not even make it to the car. A veterinarian in Seattle reported a case where a dog raided a backpack, found a pack of gum, and was gone within the hour. Your food is for you. Their food is for them. It sounds harsh, but loving them means saying no, no matter how much they beg. Now let's talk about a stick. Yes, a simple stick from the yard. Mistake number 4 is playing fetch with sticks. This seems like the most natural thing in the world. It's the classic image of a dog owner, right? You're at the park, you find a good branch, and you throw it. But emergency vets have a nickname for this: the stick injury. And it is gruesome. Here is what happens. You throw the stick. It bounces. Your dog runs full speed to grab it. But sometimes the stick lands weirdly, planting itself in the ground like a spear. Your dog, running with their mouth open, impales themselves on it. It can puncture the roof of the mouth, the throat, or even go down the esophagus. Even if that doesn't happen, chewing on sticks creates splinters. These shards are swallowed and can puncture the stomach lining or cause an obstruction. I know dogs love sticks, but the risk of impalement or perforation is too high. Swap the stick for a rubber toy or a frisbee. It keeps the fun, but removes the trip to the emergency room. Moving on to a silent epidemic happening in their mouths. Mistake number 5 is ignoring dental health. Quick question: when was the last time you actually lifted your dog's lip and looked at their back teeth? Most people never do. And that is a huge mistake. By age 3, over 80% of dogs have some form of dental disease. Let that sink in. 80%. This isn't just about bad breath or yellow teeth. The gums are very vascular, meaning they have a lot of blood vessels. When the gums are infected, that bacteria enters the bloodstream every time your dog chews. It travels to the heart valves, the kidneys, and the liver, causing micro damage every single day. It can actually shorten your dog's lifespan by years. Dogs are masters at hiding pain. They will continue to eat crunchy kibble even with a mouthful of rotting teeth, because their survival instinct tells them they must eat. So while your dog might seem fine, they could be suffering from agonizing tooth decay right now. Watch for warning signs, like favoring one side of the mouth, dropping food, or shying away when you touch their head. Schedule a dental checkup. Brushing their teeth or using dental chews isn't just cosmetic, it is protecting their heart. Now let's discuss something you wear every day. Mistake number 6 is leaving collars on when they are home alone or in a crate. We put collars on our dogs to keep them safe, to hold their ID tags. But inside the house, that collar can become a lethal trap. There have been countless heartbreaking stories of dogs getting their collar tags caught on the wires of a crate on a heating vent on the floor, or even on the jaw of another dog while playing. When the collar gets snagged, the dog panics. They twist and pull to get free, which only tightens the collar, cutting off their air. It happens in seconds often when you are in the next room or just ran out for groceries. If your dog is in a crate, they should be naked, no collar. If they are playing with another dog, take the collars off. Or switch to a breakaway collar that snaps open under pressure. It is a tiny adjustment that eliminates a terrifying risk. Mistake number 7 is ignoring the temperature of the ground. We worry about dogs getting hot in the summer, but we often forget about their feet. Mistake number 7 is walking on hot pavement. We wear shoes so we don't feel it. But asphalt soaks up heat like a sponge. On a day that is only 75 degrees and sunny, the asphalt can reach 125 degrees. On a hot summer day, it can hit 140. That is hot enough to fry an egg, and it is certainly hot enough to burn the pads off your dog's paws. I have seen dogs come into clinics with the skin of their pads literally sloughing off raw and bleeding just from a 20-minute walk. Before you head out, do the 7-second test. Place the back of your hand on the pavement. If you can't hold it there comfortably for 7 seconds, it is too hot for your dog. Walk them on the grass or wait until the sun goes down. Their paws are tough, but they aren't fireproof. This leads us to a broader issue of medical care. Mistake number 8 is skipping regular vet visits because he looks healthy. That is exactly what every grieving owner says. He seemed fine yesterday. Dogs evolved to hide weakness. In the wild, a sick member of the pack is a target for predators or is left behind. So your dog will mask their pain and illness until they physically cannot hide it anymore. By the time your dog shows obvious symptoms like not eating lethargy or vomiting, the disease is often advanced. Kidney disease, for example, often shows no symptoms until 75% of kidney function is already lost. Heartworm disease silently destroys the heart and lungs long before the dog starts coughing. All of these can be caught early with routine blood work and checkups. Experts recommend yearly checkups for young dogs and twice-yearly visits for seniors. Don't wait for an emergency to see the vet. Preventative care is the only way to see behind their mask of bravery. And now, we have to talk about the dangers of the car. Mistake number 9 isn't just about heat. It's about the unrestrained dog. We love seeing a dog with their head out the window ears, flapping in the wind. It looks like pure joy. But allowing your dog to ride loose in the car is a gamble with their life. If you have to slam on the brakes at just 30 miles per hour, a 60-pound dog becomes a 2,000-pound projectile. They can be thrown through the windshield or into the front seat, injuring you and killing them. Furthermore, having a head out the window exposes their eyes to debris rocks, bugs dust at high speeds, which can cause ulcers or blindness. And in the worst-case scenario of an accident, a loose dog often runs away in panic into traffic. Invest in a crash-tested seatbelt harness or a secure travel crate. It might not look as carefree as the movies, but it ensures they arrive at the destination alive. Now, before I reveal the final 3 mistakes, I need to warn you. This next one is so common that nearly every dog owner does it at some point. It comes from a place of love, but it creates a behavioral time bomb. Mistake number 10 is inconsistent rules. We think dogs understand sometimes. We think they understand, you can sit on the couch today because I'm sad and want to cuddle, but not tomorrow because I'm wearing nice pants. Dogs do not understand exceptions. They understand patterns. When you are inconsistent, letting them jump up on you when you're in gym clothes, but yelling when you're in a suit, you are creating deep anxiety in your dog. They don't know what the rules are. They don't know how to succeed. This anxiety manifests as bad behavior, but it's actually confusion. They keep testing the boundary because the boundary keeps moving. If you want a happy, confident dog, you have to be boringly consistent. If the couch is off limits, it's always off limits. If jumping is bad, it's always bad. Clarity is kindness. Let's look at mistake number 11, using the wrong leash. Specifically, the retractable leash. You see these everywhere. They seem great because they give the dog freedom. But veterinary professionals and trainers hate them. Here is why. First, the thin cord can cause horrific burns and deep cuts to humans and dogs if it wraps around a leg or finger. I have seen photos of fingers amputated by these cords. Second, they teach the dog to pull. The dog learns that pulling extends the leash, so they pull more. But the biggest danger is the lack of control. If a stray dog approaches or a car swerves, your dog is 20 feet away from you. You cannot reel them in fast enough to save them. The locking mechanisms often fail. A standard 6-foot leather or nylon leash is the safest connection you can have with your dog. It keeps them close, it keeps you in control, and it prevents tragedy. And finally, we arrive at the most heartbreaking mistake of all. Mistake number 12 is the unsecured freedom. We call it the he never runs away syndrome. You open the front door to bring in groceries without a leash on your dog. You leave the backyard gate unlatched for just a second. You let them off leash in an unfenced park because their recall is perfect. Here is the hard truth. Your dog is an animal. They are driven by instinct. It doesn't matter how well trained they are. If a squirrel darts across the street, or a loud truck backfires and scares them, or another dog challenges them, instinct takes over. They lunge, they bolt, and they are gone. Veterinarians see the result of he never runs away every single day in the trauma ward. Being hit by a car is one of the leading causes of premature death in dogs. It happens in a split second. You turn your back. You think they are safe. Please check your fences. Use a leash near roads always. Install a baby gate at the front door if your dog is a door dasher. Don't gamble their life on the belief that they think like a human. They think like a dog, and the world is full of distractions that can kill them. Look, I know this has been intense, maybe even a little scary. But that feeling in your chest, that is love. That is your protective instinct kicking in. Your dog depends on you for everything, their safety, their health, their happiness, their very life. They are like toddlers who never grow up. They navigate a world designed for humans full of dangers they cannot understand. But the good news is that now you know. You can walk into your living room right now and pick up that sock. You can throw away the toxic diffuser. You can buy a harness. You can make these changes today, this very hour, and you will be actively saving your dog's life. So here is what I want you to do. I want to honor the dogs we are protecting. Leave a comment down below with your dog's name. Let's fill the comment section with the names of the good boys and girls we are promising to keep safe. Tell me which mistake surprised you the most, or share a story. If you have learned one of these lessons the hard way, your story might save another dog's life. Hit that subscribe button because I am committed to helping you give your dog the longest, healthiest, happiest life possible. Share this with every dog owner you know. You might just save a tail-wagging life today. Your dog trusts you completely. Let's make sure that trust is never broken. Thanks for watching. It is every pet parent's absolute worst nightmare. Imagine one day you reach out to pet your beloved pup, just like you have 1,000 times before, but this time they flinch. They pull away. They refuse to make eye contact or sleep near you, choosing instead to hide under the bed or retreat to the back of their crate. The bond you spent years building feels severed perhaps forever. What went wrong? It turns out even the most well-meaning owners can accidentally break their dog's heart. Today, we are going to walk through 14 specific mistakes that cause deep emotional pain to our dogs. These aren't obvious acts of cruelty, but subtle misunderstandings of canine psychology. Let's make sure you aren't accidentally pushing your best friend away. Let's start with something that seems like a harmless prank, but actually cuts deep into the fabric of trust, the fake throw. We have all done it. You pick up the tennis ball, you wind up your arm, you pretend to launch it across the park, but you secretly tuck it behind your back. Your dog, full of joy and anticipation, takes off running. Then they stop. They look around, confused. They realize the ball isn't there. Now, to us, that is just a little joke. But you have to understand how a dog's eyes work. They are predators. Their vision is designed to track motion. When you make that throwing motion, their brain screams, chase. When they realize there is no ball, they don't think, oh, what a funny joke. They feel confused and eventually foolish. If you do this enough times, you are teaching your dog that your physical cues, your body language, are unreliable. You are teaching them that you are a liar. Over time, this degrades their trust in you. It can even ruin games of fetch, because they will stop bringing the ball back thinking, why should I share with you if you trick me? Trust is a bank account. Don't make withdrawals for a cheap laugh. This confusion often extends to how we use our voice, specifically with the phrase, it's okay. This is going to sound completely counterintuitive because it comes from a place of pure love. Your dog gets scared. Maybe it's thunder. Maybe it's the vet. And your immediate instinct is to use your softest, sweetest voice and say, it's okay, buddy. It's okay. Shh, it's okay. Here's the problem. Dogs do not speak English. They don't know the definition of the phrase, it is okay. They only know association. Think about when you usually say those words. You say them when they are shivering at the vet. You say them during fireworks. You say them when a scary dog walks by. Over time, you are accidentally conditioning your dog to believe that the phrase, it's okay, actually means something terrible is about to happen. You become a predictor of doom. Instead of calming them down, that phrase becomes a trigger for anxiety. Instead of reassuring them with words they don't understand, try reassuring them with your energy. Be calm, confident, and act like the noise or the situation is no big deal. They will look to you for leadership, not sympathy. Another way we try to comfort them is through touch, specifically hugging. I know. They're so cute, and you just want to wrap your arms around them and squeeze. Humans are primates. We embrace to show affection. It releases oxytocin for us. But dogs, Dogs are built to run. They don't have arms, and they didn't evolve to hug each other. In the language of dogs, putting your limbs over another animal's neck or shoulders is a dominance move. It is an act of pinning them down. It restricts their movement. When you hug a dog, especially one that doesn't know you extremely well, they don't feel love. They feel restrained. They feel trapped. If you look closely at photos of people hugging dogs, you will often see the dog showing whale eye, where you can see the whites of their eyes or their ears are pinned back. These are signs of stress. They are tolerating the hug because they love you, not because they enjoy it. Instead of a hug, try a lean. Lean your shoulder against them. That is how dogs hug back. We also make mistakes in how we physically approach them. When we meet a new dog or a small dog, our instinct is to make ourselves smaller. We crouch down. We think we are being polite by getting on their level. But for many dogs, seeing a human suddenly crouch and stare can be terrifying. In the wild, predators crouch before they spring. A wolf crouches before it attacks. When you drop down low and stare at them, you aren't looking friendly. You are looking like you are about to pounce. This is especially scary for rescue dogs who might have negative associations with humans. Instead of crouching and staring, try turning your body sideways. Avoid direct eye contact. Let them approach you. By turning your side to them, you are using calming signals that say, "I am not a threat. I am just hanging out." This leads to how we manage their personal space, specifically their crate. Crates are wonderful tools. Dogs are den animals by nature. They like small, cozy, dark spaces where they can feel safe. A crate should be their bedroom, their sanctuary, their place to decompress. However, humans often ruin this by using the crate as a punishment. If your dog pees on the rug or chews a slipper, and you angrily drag them to the crate and lock the door, you have just turned their bedroom into a prison cell. You never want your dog to associate the crate with your anger. If they start fearing the crate, they will be anxious every time you leave the house. They will whine, scratch, and panic because they think they are in trouble. The crate must always be Disneyland. It's where the best treats happen. It's where meals happen. It is a happy place. Never use isolation as a weapon. Speaking of senses, we often forget that our dogs live in an olfactory world. A dog's sense of smell is anywhere from 10,000 to 100,000 times more sensitive than ours. They don't just smell a stew. They smell the carrots, the pepper, the beef, and the water individually. Because they smell, sometimes, let's be honest, they like to roll in gross things. We have a tendency to spray them with doggy perfumes, shampoos, or air fresheners. We think we are making them smell clean. To a dog, this is like someone forcing you to wear a gas mask filled with cheap cologne 24 hours a day. Strong artificial scents can be overwhelming and even nauseating for them. It blocks their ability to interact with the world. It masks their own scent, which is their identity. If you need to bathe them, use scent-free or very mild natural shampoos. Respect their nose. It is their superpower, not a problem to be covered up. This respect for their nose should extend to their walks. We are all busy. I get it. You have work, you have chores, and you just need the dog to do their business so you can get back inside. So you pull on the leash. You drag them away from that fire hydrant. You rush them along the sidewalk. But you have to understand that the walk is not just for physical exercise. It is for mental exercise. Sniffing is how dogs read the news. When they smell a tree, they are learning who walked by how long ago, if they were male or female, if they were healthy or sick. When you drag them away from a smell, it is like someone snatching a book out of your hands just as you are reading the last page of a chapter. It is frustrating. It leaves them mentally unfulfilled. A 20-minute walk where they get to sniff everything is far more exhausting and satisfying for a dog than a 45-minute power walk where they aren't allowed to stop. Let them have their sniffari. It's their time, not yours. Sometimes we try to force connection in ways that feel threatening, like forced eye contact. There is a moment in movies where the human holds the dog's face and looks deep into their eyes, and it's portrayed as this beautiful, soulful connection. And yes, with a dog, you have a deep bond with soft eye contact is lovely. But forced eye contact, grabbing their face, holding them still, and staring is incredibly aggressive in dog language. In the animal kingdom, a hard stare is a threat. It means, I am challenging you. If you try to force this bonding moment on a dog, especially one that is already nervous, you are threatening them. You are confusing them. They might look away, lick their lips, or yawn. These are them politely asking you to stop. If you ignore those polite requests and keep staring, they might feel they have no choice but to snap. Let eye contact happen naturally and softly. Never force it. Ironically, while we force connection they don't want, we sometimes push away the love they do offer. Dogs don't write poetry. They don't buy flowers. When they want to tell you they love you, they do it physically. They lean on you. They nudge your hand with their wet nose. They offer you a slobbery toy. And yes, they try to lick your face. Sometimes we are busy. Or maybe we just put on makeup. Or we are wearing nice clothes. So we push them away. Not now. Get down. You stop. If you do this consistently, your dog begins to internalize a painful message. My affection is not wanted here. They might stop coming to you for comfort. They might become distant or aloof, not because they don't love you, but because they are afraid of being rejected again. I am not saying you have to let them drool on your silk shirt, but acknowledge the gesture. If they nudge you, give them a quick ear scratch. If they bring a toy, say thank you, even if you can't play right now. Validate their attempt to connect. Don't leave them hanging. We also have to respect their social battery. We love the idea that our dogs are social butterflies who want to be best friends with every person and dog they meet. But just like humans, dogs have different personalities. Some are extroverts, but many are introverts. Some are selective. When guests come over, or when you meet a stranger on a walk, we often force the interaction. Oh, say hi, he's friendly. We say as we pull the dog toward a stranger they clearly aren't sure about. Or we throw them into a dog park and ignore the fact that they are hiding between our legs. Forcing an interaction when your dog is uncomfortable is a betrayal of their trust. You are their protector. If they are showing signs of fear, tuck tail ears back. Hiding it is your job to advocate for them. Tell the stranger, sorry, he needs some space today. Your dog will love you for it. They need to know that you will protect their personal bubble. But perhaps the most common mistake is losing our patience and yelling. We have all been there. You come home and the trash is all over the floor. Or they are barking at the mailman for the 10th time. You snap. You yell, bad dog, stop it. What did you do? Here is the hard truth. Yelling rarely teaches a dog anything other than, my human is scary and unpredictable. Dogs don't process guilt the way we do. If you yell at them for trash they ate 3 hours ago, they have absolutely no idea why you are mad. They just see a crazy person shouting. Even in the moment, yelling often just adds chaotic energy to the situation. If a dog is barking out of anxiety, you yelling at them just confirms that there is something to be stressed about. Instead of yelling, focus on training incompatible behaviors. Teach them what to do, rather than just screaming at them for what not to do. Quiet authority is always more powerful than volume. This connects to punishing them for simply being dogs. Imagine if someone punished you for breathing or blinking. It would be confusing and cruel. Yet we often punish dogs for acting on their biological instincts. Digging, barking, chewing, sniffing. These are things dogs are hardwired to do. It is literally in their DNA. You wouldn't blame a fish for swimming, right? So why do we get mad at a terrier for digging or a beagle for following a scent? When you punish a dog for these natural behaviors without giving them an outlet, you create frustration. Instead of punishing the instinct, redirect it. If they love to dig, build them a sandbox in the yard. If they love to chew, give them frozen Kongs. You have to work with their nature, not against it. If you try to suppress their dogness, you will break their spirit. Another way we break their spirit is by expecting them to work for free. There is a school of thought that says dogs should obey you simply out of respect or because you are the alpha. So once a dog learns a trick, the owner stops giving treats. They stop giving praise. They just expect the dog to work for free forever. Imagine if your boss stopped paying you because you already knew how to do your job. Well, you know how to file reports now, so no paycheck this week. You would quit. Dogs are the same. If a behavior is never rewarded, it will eventually go away. Now you don't have to give a steak for every sit, but you need to pay your dog sometimes. A good boy, a scratch behind the ears, a piece of kibble, intermittent reinforcement keeps the drive alive. If you stop telling them they are doing a good job, they will stop trying to please you. And finally, we must respect their rest. Your dog looks like an angel when they are sleeping. They are curled up, maybe twitching a little, dreaming of chasing squirrels. The temptation to reach out and pet them is overwhelming. Don't do it. Startling a dog out of a deep sleep is dangerous and stressful. For some dogs, especially older dogs, who might be losing their hearing or rescue dogs with a trauma history being touched while sleeping, can trigger a sleep startle reflex. In that split second of waking up, their brain hasn't registered that it's you. They just know something touched them, and their instinct is to bite first and ask questions later. Even if they don't bite, you are interrupting their REM cycle, which is crucial for their mental health. Being woken up abruptly floods their system with cortisol. Respect their rest. Let them dream. If you need to wake them, call their name softly from a distance or stomp your foot gently on the floor so the vibration wakes them before your hand does. We cover these points not to make you feel guilty, but to help us all be better. We have all made these mistakes. I know I have. The beautiful thing about dogs is their capacity for forgiveness. They don't hold grudges. If you change your behavior today, if you stop the fake throws, respect their sleep, and become their advocate, they will notice. The bond will heal. You will see their eyes soften, their tail wag a little looser, and that flinch will turn back into a lean. I want to do something to honor the incredible patience our dogs have with us as we learn to be human. Go down to the comments right now and type your dog's name. Let's build a tribute to the best friends we will ever have and make a silent promise to them to do better starting today. Thanks for watching. Are you making mistakes that your dog finds unforgivable? How would you even know? We all want to believe we are the perfect pet parents, but sometimes the things we do out of love or frustration can be completely enhancing, misinterpreted by our canine companions. In this video, we are going to explore 12 critical things that a dog will struggle to forgive, actions that can silently erode the trust you have worked so hard to build. Ignoring these can damage the bond with your furry friend in ways you might not see until it is too late. You will be shocked when you hear the last one. It is something most dog owners do without even realizing it. But before we begin, please like and subscribe. It is a small way to support us. Now let's find out what mistakes you should never make with your dog. Number 12. Scolding way after the fact. Have you ever come home from a long day at work, walked into your living room, and found a chewed up shoe or a mess on the carpet? The immediate human reaction is frustration. You might find your dog, point at the mess, and start scolding them, perhaps shouting, "What did you do?" You see them cower, look away, or give you those big, sad, guilty eyes. You think, see, he knows he did something wrong. But here is the heartbreaking truth. He has absolutely no idea what you are talking about. Dogs live entirely in the present moment. Their association between an action and a consequence spans only a few seconds. If you yell at your dog 20 minutes or even 2 minutes after they chewed that shoe, they do not connect your anger to the shoe. They connect your anger to you and to their current presence. In their mind, you are just randomly becoming aggressive and unpredictable. Those guilty eyes, that isn't guilt. That is fear. That is an appeasement signal saying, "Please don't hurt me. I can see you are angry." Scolding after the fact doesn't teach them not to chew. It teaches them that you are sometimes scary to be around. Instead, you have to catch them in the act to correct them gently or simply manage the environment better next time. When you let go of that delayed anger, you stop confusing your dog. But confusion often stems from more than just timing. It comes from the rules themselves. Number 11. Confusing your dog with inconsistent rules. Imagine playing a board game where the rules change every 10 minutes without anyone telling you. One moment you are winning, the next you are being penalized. That would be incredibly stressful, right? That is exactly how your dog feels when you are inconsistent with boundaries. This is one of the fastest ways to create an anxious, insecure dog. For example, maybe on Tuesday, you are wearing your nice work clothes, so you yell at the dog for jumping up on you. But on Saturday, you are in your old sweats, and you happily pat your chest and invite them to jump up for a hug. To your dog, the action is exactly the same. I see my human. I jump up to say hello. They do not understand the concept of work clothes versus weekend clothes. They just see that sometimes you love it and sometimes you get mad. Or perhaps you let them on the couch when you are cuddling alone, but banish them when guests are over. Dogs crave clarity. They find safety in knowing exactly what is expected of them. When you send mixed signals, they don't know how to succeed in your world. Stick to your boundaries. Make sure everyone in the house enforces the same rules. Consistency isn't about being strict. It is about being a clear, fair leader. When your dog knows the rules never change, they can finally relax. However, sometimes we take that need for rules too far and turn a safe space into a prison. Number 10, punishing your dog with their crate. This is a mistake that can take years to undo. Your dog's crate should be their sanctuary, their bedroom, their den, the one place in the world where nobody can bother them. It should be associated with soft blankets, treats, and safety. But the moment you use the crate as a jail cell for punishment, you destroy that association. If your dog has an accident on the rug or barks at the mailman, and you angrily grab them by the collar and shove them into the crate while yelling, you are teaching them that the crate is a bad place. Eventually, they will start to fear it. They will run away when you try to put them in before you leave for work, adding stress to your morning routine. A dog should go into their crate willingly, knowing it's a place to decompress. Never use isolation as a weapon. If you need a timeout, that's fine, but do it calmly and neutrally. You want your dog to feel that their crate is their castle, not their dungeon. When they feel safe in their space, they feel safe with you. But safety isn't just about physical spaces. It is also about how we respond when they try to tell us they love us. Number 9, reacting poorly to their affection. This one is subtle, but it cuts deep. Think about your best friend or your partner. Imagine you walked up to them to give them a hug or just rest your head on their shoulder, and they shoved you away or ignored you. It would hurt, wouldn't it? Dogs show affection in very specific, often subtle ways. They might lean their weight against your legs while you are standing in the kitchen. They might nudge your hand with a wet nose or gently rest their chin on your foot. These are their ways of saying, "I love you, I am here with you." If you are always too busy looking at your phone, or if you push them away because you don't want dog hair on your pants, you are rejecting their bid for connection. If you do this often enough, your dog will eventually stop trying. They will withdraw emotionally. Over time, this damages the bond and leaves your dog feeling confused or unwanted. You don't have to let them smother you 24/7, but acknowledging their affection is vital. A quick ear, scratch a soft word, or just leaning back against them tells them, "I love you too." It validates their existence in your pack. But while connection is important, knowing when to disconnect is just as crucial. Number 8, rudely interrupting nap time. We often think of dogs as being available to us whenever we want them. But waking a sleeping dog isn't just rude, it is actually asking for trouble. When you startle a snoozing pup, they might react with a snap or a growl before they even realize who you are. This isn't aggression. It is a biological survival mechanism called the sleep startle reflex. In the wild, being woken up suddenly usually meant a predator was attacking, so their body is hardwired to react defensively. This is especially true for older dogs who might be losing their hearing, or rescue dogs who have a history of trauma. But beyond the safety aspect, it is also a matter of respect. Deep sleep is when your dog's brain processes the day, repairs muscles, and strengthens their immune system. Constantly interrupting that rest can lead to a grumpy, stressed out, and sleep-deprived animal. Teach your children and your guests the golden rule: let sleeping dogs lie. If you absolutely must wake them, do not touch them. Call their name softly from a distance, or tap the floor gently so the vibration wakes them. They will appreciate the gentle transition from dreamland to reality. Respecting their peace is a huge part of building trust, but so is respecting their social limitations. Number 7, forcing awkward interactions. There is a misconception that all dogs are social butterflies who want to say hi to every person and every dog they meet. We treat the dog park like a playground and expect our dogs to love it. But for many dogs, a crowded dog park or a busy street festival is not fun. It is a nightmare. Turning the dog park into a circus or forcing small talk with strangers can be deeply traumatizing for a shy or introverted dog. Imagine being an introvert and having your friend drag you to a loud, chaotic party, then forcing you to hug strangers. That is what we do to our dogs. If your dog is hiding behind your legs, tucking their tail, yawning excessively, or looking away, they are screaming in dog language, "I am uncomfortable. Please get me out of here." If you ignore those signs and force them to interact, to be social, you are breaking their trust. You are showing them that you will not protect them when they feel unsafe. This can actually lead to fear-based aggression because if they can't flee, they might feel they have to fight. Pay attention to your dog's body language. Be their advocate. It is okay if they don't want to play with other dogs. It is okay if they don't want a stranger to pet them. Let them approach the world on their own terms. But while we shouldn't force unwanted contact, we also need to be careful about the contact we initiate. Number 6, squeezing them with too many hugs. This is the hardest one for humans to accept because hugging is our primary way of showing love. We hug our kids, our spouses, and our friends. So naturally, we wrap our arms around our dogs. But in primate language, a hug means affection. In canine language, placing your limbs over another animal's neck or shoulders is a dominance behavior. It restricts movement. It says, "I am pinning you down." When you wrap your arms around your dog, they don't think, "Aw, sweet." They often think, "Why am I being trapped right now?" If you look closely at photos of people hugging dogs, you will often see the dog look stressed. Their mouth is closed tight. Their ears are pinned back. They are leaning away. Or you can see the whites of their eyes, what trainers call whale eye. These are all signs of high stress. Your dog tolerates it because they love you. And they have learned you aren't trying to hurt them, but they rarely enjoy it. Instead of squeezing them, show affection in ways they actually understand, and like a good scratch at the base of the tail, a belly rub, or leaning your shoulder gently against theirs. Save the bear hugs for your human friends. Your dog will thank you for it. And speaking of things they value, let's talk about their possessions. Number 5, snatching their favorite toys. People think taking a dog's toy away is no big deal. It's just a toy, right? But to your pup, it is basically theft. Imagine if you were using your phone and someone just walked up and snatched it out of your hand without asking. You would feel annoyed, disrespected, and defensive. It is the same for your dog. They form deep attachments to their possessions. Yanking a toy away from them, especially to tease them or show them who is boss, is a dangerous game. This is how you create a dog with resource guarding issues. They start to learn that your approach means they are going to lose something they love, so they start growling or snapping to protect it. Instead of snatching, teach the concept of trade. If you want the toy, offer them a high-value treat or a different toy in exchange. This way, They learn that giving something up doesn't mean a loss, it means a profit. They get something even better. This keeps the relationship cooperative rather than competitive. You avoid the power struggle, and your dog trusts that you aren't just a bully taking their stuff. Understanding their perspective on toys leads us to a broader understanding of their natural instincts. Number 4, punishing instead of redirecting natural behaviors. Did you know barking, chewing, digging, and sniffing are completely normal, hardwired dog behaviors? They are not doing these things to annoy you. They are doing them because they are dogs. When you punish these instincts, your dog feels confused and frustrated. It is like punishing a bird for flying or a fish for swimming. If you scream at your dog for barking at the window, they might think you are just barking with them at the intruder. If your dog is chewing the couch, they aren't being malicious. They are likely bored teething or stressed. Punishing them doesn't solve the root cause. Instead of scolding, you need to redirect. If they chew the furniture, give them a durable bone and praise them when they use it. If they dig in the garden, give them a designated sand pit where they are allowed to dig. If they bark, teach a quiet command and reward the silence. Redirecting their energy to appropriate outlets works better than punishment because it honors who they are as an animal while teaching them how to live in a human house. But teaching requires the right mindset from you. Number 3, losing patience during training. Getting frustrated with your dog during training is like slamming a textbook shut because a child didn't learn to read. In one day, it helps no one. We have all been there. You have asked them to sit 10 times, and they are just staring at you. You feel the anger rising. You start repeating the command, louder and angrier. Sit, sit. But here's the thing. Dogs are masters at reading human emotion. When you lose your temper, your dog picks up on that tension immediately. They get anxious, and when a brain is anxious, it cannot learn. They stop trying to figure out what you want and start trying to figure out how to escape your anger. If you feel yourself getting frustrated, stop. Just stop the session. Take a breath. Your dog might understand a command perfectly in the calm of your kitchen, but struggle to follow it at the park where there are distractions. Patience is the secret sauce here. Repeat commands slowly lower your criteria and reward small progress. A steady, calm, positive approach makes training a bonding experience rather than a battleground. And part of that stability comes from how you structure their entire life. Number 2, skipping out on a solid routine. Did you know that your dog secretly runs on a mental calendar? Without a steady schedule, they are basically left wondering, wait, is it dinner time or chaos hour? Dogs crave routine because it is their cheat sheet for living in our unpredictable, noisy human world. They can't read clocks, but they have a circadian rhythm that tells them when things should happen. If their feeding times, walk times, and potty breaks are all over the place, your pup lives in a state of low-level anxiety. They don't know when their needs will be met. This can lead to behavioral issues like chewing up shoes accidents in the house or barking for attention. Fix it by setting clear times for meals, potty breaks, and playtime. Even consistent wake-up and bedtime hours can keep your dog from turning into a furry ball of stress. Trust me, a little structure makes for a much happier, calmer tail wagger. It allows them to relax because they know you have everything under control. And finally, the most critical mistake of all one, that undermines everything else. Number 1, forgetting to reward your dog's good behavior. This is the mistake that makes all other training fall apart. We are very quick to tell our dogs no when they do something wrong, but we are often silent when they do something right. Imagine if you went to work every day, did a great job, and your boss never paid you or never said, "Good job," but screamed at you the moment you made a typo. You would quit. You would stop trying. Rewarding good behavior is like giving your dog a paycheck. If you skip the rewards, your dog will stop listening. Because, hey, what's the point? Dogs thrive on positive reinforcement. If your dog is lying quietly on the rug instead of begging at the table, do you praise them or do you ignore them? If you ignore them, they might start barking just to get a reaction. When your dog comes, when called, do you throw a party or do you just clip the leash on and go home? You need to capture those good moments. A small treat, a cheerful, good boy, or a quick game can reinforce the idea that listening to you is the best thing in the world. If you forget to reward them, the good behaviors will go extinct. Keep the rewards coming, and you'll have a happy, motivated pup who is desperate to please you. By avoiding these 12 mistakes, you are doing more than just training a dog. You are honoring a soul. You are building a language that goes beyond words, based on mutual respect and deep understanding. But now, I want to turn this over to you. I want to create a tribute to the dogs that put up with our mistakes and love us anyway. Go to the comments section right now and type your dog's name. Whether they are sleeping at your feet or waiting for you across the rainbow bridge, let's fill the comments with the names of our best friends. Let's show the world how much they mean to us. I'll be reading through them and sending love to every single one. Thank you for watching, and give your pup a gentle pat from me.